Welcome into another episode of the Cam Show, powered by Rogue Media Sports Network. Last day on the road, back in studio on Monday. Colin Cowherd is really dumb and has been for a long time, to be quite fair. He just throws takes out there for the sake of it. National guy who doesn't have his finger on the pulse of really anything anymore. No city, no team. Just Lincoln Riley. That's about it. And he is getting people to listen to his program by throwing out promos about how he never roots for the underdog. So, yeah, that's something I want to listen to anyway. Well, he weighed in on the Patriots quarterback situation and somehow found just the worst take of everyone who's been weighing in on the quarterback situation with the Patriots, myself included, by the way. I know that's been making big headlines. He can't help himself. He just talks himself down into a paper bag and can't talk his way out of it. So this is what he had to say about Joe Milton, who is apparently turning some heads with the people who are at Patriots training camp as opposed to what Drake May is doing.
There's another story that Joe Milton, he was the quarterback, fun to watch from Tennessee, 6th round. They drafted 2 quarterbacks. That Milton has a wow factor, big, stronger arm than May, more athletic than May. And everybody's looking thinking, is the 6th round guy better than the 1st round guy?
Okay, let me get this part out of the way first. Colin Cowherd has never watched Joe Milton play football. Never. You see how we threw that in there? Well, fun to watch. Because people have told you he's fun to watch, Colin. You didn't watch Tennessee football. I guarantee it. You didn't do it. That's fine, but don't pretend like you also know who Joe Milton is, the 6th round pick. You don't know. You've never watched him play a down of football. I guarantee it. And he's taking the ultimate hyperbole, which, to be fair, is being fed by the Boston media. No one is actually thinking that Joe Milton is a better quarterback than Drake May a week and a half into practice at training camp. Nobody thinks that. It is August 2nd. Okay? Is Drake May turning heads yet? Apparently not. No. In fact, I said as much yesterday. We have not heard anything that Drake May has been turning heads. But we also went into this draft knowing that he was not going to be the starter right away, that he was the rawest of those 3 top prospects. It is August 2nd. And they're already saying, oh, Joe Milton's better. He's taller. He can throw the ball longer. Maybe. He's better. Colin Cowherd, no fucking clue what he's talking about. He has not been to a practice. He's maybe watched grainy footage of one throw, and he reads, Ben Volin and Michael Holley. That's how he started it, was reading quotes from Volin and Holley. And he just buys it hook, line, sinker. Oh, yeah, Joe Milton's better, which he'll go on to later. But he has even more bad takes in between, because this is what he had to say about the Patriots' philosophy as a franchise over the years, over the Tom Brady years.
But part of it is this. Take out the Randy Moss years, 3 years. Even with Brady, Gronk, and Edelman and no Moss, New England was never an offensive culture. It was briefly with Randy Moss.
Oh boy, this is so stupid. This is so mind-numbingly stupid. He has just no idea what he's talking about. And I get these national guys don't have the finger on the pulse of all these teams, but the era that he is talking about, the Patriots are the most covered team in the history of sports, and he still doesn't know jack fucking shit about what he's talking about. Okay, so let's take out the Moss years. All right, 2010 was the last Randy Moss year. He played a couple of games for them. In total offense, the Patriots were 8th that year. They got better the next year. 2011, they were 2nd. 2012, they were 1st. And they were top 10 in every year but up till 2017, except for one. They were 1st in total offense twice after Moss left. And in every year from 2011 to 2018, they were top 5 in the league in points scored. Every one of those years, Randy Moss did not appear on one of those teams. In 2011, They had one of the best offenses of all time, almost rivaled '07. Randy Moss was not on that team. It would have been the worst defense ever to win the Super Bowl if they got the job done against the Giants. But he hides behind this veil of offensive culture so that when you throw stats at him, he'll say, well, that's not the culture of the Patriots because Bill Belichick was the head coach. And so you use this thinly veiled bullshit to cover your just really stupid point. Offensive culture, because you can't define what that means because it's fucking fugazi. So you just say offensive culture. Not that they weren't good on offense, because they were really good on offense. In fact, most of those years, their offense was leagues ahead of their defense. You got to get back to like 14, 15, 16 for it to be even close. 2011, 2012, 2013, the offense was way better. Post Randy Moss, but not an offensive culture. They had the best quarterback ever. They ran a hurry-up offense. They had a 2 tight end system before anyone was doing that. They were handing off in the backfield to their tight ends. They had better third down backs than anyone in the league. They had the best offensive coordinator in the league. But it wasn't an offensive culture because Colin Cowherd says it's not. Okay, Colin, then what is an offensive culture? What did the Patriots lack, and what were the other teams that had it? Thankfully, Colin weighs in on this as well.
It was never an organization of offensive creativity, abundance, joy. That's Kansas City. That's San Francisco. That's the Rams. Sometimes it's Philadelphia. It's not New England.
Oh, they didn't have enough joy? They didn't have enough offensive joy for you, Colin? What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Again, he's just these thinly veiled, they don't have offensive abundance or joy because they don't run around like Patrick Mahomes does. What the fuck are you talking about? Again, you're just using fugazi. It doesn't make any sense. How about this for abundance? I am picking one Patriots team, and I'm going to make it fair. I'm not going to pick a Patriots team that won the Super Bowl, and I'm not going to pick a Patriots team that was the top offense in football. I'm going to pick 2011 when they scored 513 points. 513. By the way, it was the next year that they led the league in total offense and points scored. Okay, but the Chiefs have it, right? In 2023, the Chiefs scored 371 points. That's less than 513. How about 2022, another Super Bowl year? They scored 496 points. That's less than 513. How about 2019, another Super Bowl year? 451 points. That's less than 513. Those aren't even better than a non-Super Bowl winning, non-league leading Patriots offense post Randy Moss. Okay, we'll use another team you use. How about the 49ers? 2023, they went to the Super Bowl, 491 points. That's less than 513. 2022 49ers, 450. That's less than 513. He said the Rams as well. Their only Super Bowl year, 2021, 460 points. Last I checked, that's less than 513. So maybe they're not as innovative or have as much fun, whatever the fuck that means, but they were a better offense. So I'm not understanding this. I'm not understanding where this comes from. I know where it comes from. Colin Cowherd says, oh, Rams, Chiefs score lots of points. Belichick, defensive coach. This is offensive culture. Whatever the fuck that means. Oh, but this too. Of all those teams I just mentioned, only the 2019 Chiefs did not have the inherent advantage of playing a whole other game. The other teams had 17-game schedules. The 2011 Patriots had a 16-game schedule, and still none of them scored the points that team did. And I will remind you, a team that did not lead the league in points and did not win the Super Bowl, like other Patriots offenses in that era did do. God, he's such a moron. He's such a moron. And if you think it's going to get better, it's only going to get worse, because here is Colin's other explanation for why the Patriots did not have an offensive culture.
Here's a prime example. With the greatest quarterback in the history of the sport, they went to 9 Super Bowls in New England. Do you know how many touchdowns they scored in 9 first quarters? None.
This is it. This is where the herd with Colin Cowherd needs to have a disclaimer at the beginning of the show. If you watch this every day, you will contract cancer. This is mind-numbingly stupid. He says they don't have an offensive culture because in the Super Bowls they played in, they didn't score a touchdown in the first quarter. What about the other 3 quarters, Colin? The game is 4 quarters, and so against the best teams in the league, they didn't score in the first quarter? So because in 2007, they scored on the first play of the second quarter, they're not an offensive culture? This is so stupid. By the way, did score in the first drive of the second quarter in Super Bowl 49 as well. This is so dumb. This is the most grasping at straws I've ever seen. How about the one Super Bowl where they didn't score a touchdown in the first half? Oh yeah, that was the most points they scored in a Super Bowl in a game, 34. So what does any of it mean? It doesn't mean a thing. And this is where Cowherd could have something of a point, and instead he goes down this ridiculously stupid road. If you want to say that the Patriots are very offensively challenged right now and they don't have a great offensive coaching staff right now, that would be 100% correct. If you want to say Drake May has the toughest situation of any of the top 3 quarterbacks, that would be correct. But instead, he has to go down this rabbit hole because he's got to put Belichick in the title. He's got to put Brady in the title. He's got to have that SEO. And he says, no, you know what? They were never that good offensively. They never cared about offense, which is like the dumbest take out of all of this. It's bad enough that you think Joe Milton is better than Drake May after 1 week of practice, but to go down this road is even dumber. And yes, he does believe Joe Milton is better. He said as much as he continues to drivel on.
That the 6th-round quarterback, Joe Milton, is going to probably win the job because he's the athlete. He's the bigger, stronger, faster, more dynamic athlete.
Oh, it's August 2nd. It's August 2nd, and he's giving the job to Joe Milton because he's taller than Drake May. Holy shit. How can is there a pill I can take to become this dumb and make the money that Colin Cowherd makes? Please let me know. Please. Because what are we doing, man? If Joe Milton was a better quarterback because he's a better athlete, why wasn't he taken in the first round? This is the same kind of crap you could have said about Michael Bishop versus Tom Brady 25 years ago. And look how that turned out. It's August 2nd. They're not even doing 11 on 11s yet, let alone a preseason game. And he says, yeah, Joe Milton's going to beat out Drake May for the job? What are we doing here, man? This is the worst take I've heard the whole offseason. It's this Patriots sickness is still there. It's still there with Brady and Belichick. Everything the Patriots did became national. It became huge. It became to the nth degree. And still, somehow, even after both those guys are gone and the Patriots are one of the worst teams in football, we still get that. Because we have gone from, oh, Drake May hasn't been that impressive at practice, to the 6th-round pick is going to beat him out for the job, and they've never been good on offense. That's what we've become. Good Lord, help us all. Colin Cowherd makes a couple $1 million a year. Oh, where do I need to go to get that kind of money to be that stupid? Good Lord.
We are Rogue Media Sports.